Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Sunday League Pundit Show with myself, Stretch, my good friend on screen, Jim Jam, and a very good friend who's not on screen, Tin Ribs. Say hi, Tin Ribs.
Hello.
There we go. So, you have the three of us again this week. There is so much to talk about this week. Honestly, there really is. Do we have a Jim Jam the Statman stat?
I've gone with something that interested me this week. So, the National League was won by Chesterfield.
Yep.
League 2 was won by Stockport. League 1 was won by Portsmouth.
I know where this is going.
The Championship was won by Leicester.
I know what he's going to say.
What links them all?
The kit.
The kit, they're all in blue.
They all wear blue kits.
Oh dear.
No. It's quite interesting.
I thought that was quite interesting. I don't know if it's ever happened before or not.
What I would like to do is I would like to give a special moment at the start of this podcast. Would you like to give a congratulations to the team promoted from League One?
No.
It was worth a try, wasn't it? I tried. Pompey fans, I tried. He's not interested. He's not interested. So what we'll do is we're going to get into it, and we're going to get into a lot as soon as we've played the music. Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Sunday League Pundit Show. And there is a lot this week. There's a lot. So, next season, they are on about showing subtitles to what's being said on VAR for the people watching at home. So, as the VAR are talking, it's going to come up on the bottom of the screen so you know what they're saying to each other. Thoughts on that? Good? Not good?
Good. I like that. I quite like the idea of that because I remember, although I'd quite like the audio being broadcast to the stadium, which they've done in the Australian League, I think it is, where the ref is completely mic'd up and the whole stadium can hear what is going.
Don't they do that in rugby as well?
I was about to say, you do realise why they do it in Australia? Because
they're more
is
rugby.
Their national sport, and
it makes sense.
The rugby referee is like, because they turn it on and off, like they don't have it on during play. But as soon as a decision's made and they have to explain what's gone on, they explain it to everybody, not just the player.
Yeah, because the rugby referees have respect.
It's also exactly the same in American
that's a problem,
football.
Isn't it?
American football, whenever the ref makes a decision, he presses his mic and he announces it to the whole stadium. So immediately, everybody who's watching knows why the decision was made and what the decision is.
Probably another sport where they respect the officials.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a lot more. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of American football, but the bit I have, it seems as though they've got more respect. Marco Reus is to leave Dortmund after 12 years at the club, and he's going to help them out by living on a free transfer. Do you think he's got a place in the Premier League, or do you think he's going to go somewhere more farmer-like?
Well, I know that Arsenal wanted him on multiple occasions, but injury kind of got in his way at the time he was going to make the move to North London. I don't think he won anything with Dortmund, so maybe Tottenham would be a good fit for him.
I thought that was my job to have a go at Spurs, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't mind.
Yeah, so I think he could still do a job there, but he's not going to be signing for...
Do you see him mid-table in the Premier League then? Or challenging for one of the European spots?
Maybe a team around Europe, maybe like...
Brighton, Villa?
Villa, maybe, yeah. They should be in
Coutinho,
Europe.
that didn't go very well, did it, with Coutinho? That went really badly.
I think it'll be more of a Farmers League jobby.
Or PSG or...
Yeah, he's got... Right, so look at this, right. How old is he now? What?
34, I think.
He's 33, 34.
So he's twilight years.
Yep.
He's Played in a fairly physical league, but I wouldn't compare it to the Premier League. We all know that the Premier League is a higher intensity than the other leagues. So he's not conditioned. So people will be arguing immediately, oh, you've got the likes of Milner, Barry and all that. They went long into their years, but they were conditioned to it. They trained in it for years. They grew up in that league. We're talking about a player who hasn't grown up in that league. He hasn't got the conditioning over decades of playing that level of intensity. So realistically, I don't see him as one of those players that's going to come in and be able to. If you're okay with him playing 10 games, say 10 games a season, then fine. But if you're not, then no. For me, his best bet is to go somewhere like a Farmers League, go to a big club in a Farmers League, PSG, dare I say Real Madrid, Barcelona.
Oh, Farmers League, Real Madrid.
But go there, maybe win something, but at least have a presence. I just think for someone of his stature, coming to the Premier League, potentially be just like you just become another nobody.
That's a fair point.
It might go Italy, might suit him. One of the clubs over there.
Yeah.
Depends. I guess it's all down to what his family wants at the end of the day.
It probably does, to be fair.
Quite loyal player.
Italy's a good shout, though. I can see Italy being a good shout.
Yeah, Italy's good.
I think there's a few teams he could easily get in over there.
Right. Next one. The news is out. City's trial for the 115 charges next autumn.
I thought it was bloody September.
Next autumn, I've heard it's going to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
You don't think that anything's going to come of it anyway?
Something will come of it, but who knows what it'll be. They'll either... We know what the right thing is. They need to be, in theory, booted down the leagues.
Yeah, multiple as well. Not just Championship. I don't think they deserve to be there either. If they've done what is they're being accused of, like Tin Ribs has said on a few occasions, it's not just financial fair play, it's actually fraud. In which case, they should be wound up. And they'll have to start again, the same way Mac did, right at the bottom league.
But
I imagine they'll still be able to do it with the same owners, because they've got the money to do it. But...
money pays.
Fraud is fraud, isn't it?
So...
And that's the problem, is... And at Qatar, you told me earlier that they were...
Them lawyers could probably keep that case going for years if they wanted to.
It's not just a case of keeping it going. You've got different things to look at within it. There will be loopholes. We all know there's loopholes within any form of like taxation. Obviously, we hear about it all the time. Oh, they're doing this and tax dodging, but they're all doing it within legality. They're all doing it within the rules. So what the FA are kind of clutching at straws at a little bit is, what's the law in the land in the UK necessarily isn't the law of the land in Qatar. So if they give money to a Qatari company to, here's 50 million, sponsor my club for 52. Now, in England, you can go, hang on a minute, that's embezzlement. In Qatar, that could be absolutely fine. And they go, well, doesn't give a fucking shit because, frankly, we didn't do it in your country. And where we did it, it's absolutely fine. Swivel. Then it becomes international law.
There's going to be a lot to it.
And then when it becomes international law, everything changes. And this is why, when the UEFA tried to do it to them, they walked away.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it going that way, where it drags out, and then they try and use, the Qatari law. I can see that happening.
It's a lot bigger than people think it is. But you've got to be careful because, again, you're not just going on one set of things. You're going on national law. Once you go to national law, you've got to go into international law, and then further and further and further, and then all of a sudden you're talking about what one country sees, like for example this whole LGBTQ thing. We're all standing on it going, oh yeah, we have to do this and this and this, and then we go to a country that don't believe our belief system and try and enforce it on them. And I think that's wrong because at the end of the day, that's not our land, that's not our rules.
Yeah.
You have to abide by their rules, and that's where this comes in because. If they're doing what they're doing, it's fine where they are. Who are we to turn around and dictate what they can and can't do?
No, I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree. So if they get away with it for that kind of thing, then you have to just hold your hands up and say, well, they've found the loophole.
Yeah,
But they've done the right thing.
Absolutely.
Right. Ten Hag looks to remain as the Man United manager into next season. I haven't actually asked any Man United fans what they think about that, so that'd be an interesting poll. Like, are you happy that Ten Hag looks like he's going to stay?
All Man United fans. Blazers out!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much about the size of it.
Get the yellow and
And,
green scarves out. Blazers out.
Bayern Munich are now showing interest in Ralph Rangnick because they were looking at Ten Hag apparently. Bayern Munich wanted Ten Hag, but he's now saying that he wants to stay at Man United.
Yeah, I'm just going to go on the Ten Hag defence here. Ten Hag is failing where every other great manager has failed. Maybe it's time to start looking at the changing room. We've all said it multiple times. There is clearly something in that changing room that is not right.
I would agree.
I agree.
So maybe it's time that
Don't like agreeing with him.
No, but maybe it's time to. That's why they need to back the manager. Maybe their plan is because is it Sir Ratcliffe, whatever his name is, come in.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He's come in. Maybe he's gone. Hang on. Maybe it's not the manager. Maybe it is the changing room. So what he's probably done is sat down with him and gone, right, 5 names. Tell me, I'll get rid of him in the summer.
Well, they were looking at keeping 3 at last count,
Yeah,
and everybody else is up for sale.
that's my point. So they're looking at wholesale fuck off, which is what Man United need. I hate to say that because I don't like talking nice about Man United, but to get Man United to where they should be, that made me cringe. They need a wholesale boot out, fuck everyone off, and start again. And the first name out the door should be Onana. He's the worst keeper I've ever seen to wear a Man United shirt.
See,
I nearly
first name
corrected
I
him,
would go would be Marcus Rashford.
Well, apparently they
He's
want to
second.
try and get him to Arsenal, but Arsenal are trying to sell Jesus so
I
they can
sent
buy
that picture
Isaac.
to you because Arteta can make him world class, or was it an elite striker?
Yeah.
I think that was the
Yeah, 'cause
caption that I sent to you.
He did that with Jesus. Look at the 30-goal striker Jesus has become underneath Arteta. Yeah, well, street that does, yeah. All right. Jude Bellingham is current favourite for Ballon d'Or. Thoughts?
I would absolutely love that.
Don't disagree.
I would agree with
yeah,
it. I think he's been absolutely immense this season and this year. I just think he's fantastic.
Well, I want him to win the Champions League, so that kind of says a lot about what I think about him.
Well, he's already won 1 trophy, hasn't he?
Yep.
So he's won the league. So he now knows what winning feels like.
Which also means that he's one better than Harry Kane.
Foden knows what winning's like.
I'm hoping that they add a Euros to that.
It'll be nice, wouldn't it? That's where I was going with it. Like, English players are getting used to lifting trophies now. So it would be nice if they sort of took that into the summer and thought, maybe we can win
Yeah,
this
but
as
you
well.
say that, but you look at the teams from like 98, 2004 area, they were all winning shit. You had the Chelsea connections, the Man United connections, they're all winning shit, but they couldn't win anything then.
I was trying to make myself feel better.
Sorry, dude, can't help.
So
back.
many good. I mean, the strike force is so good going into this. We should be
Yeah,
looking
it's
to.
best in the world.
We know that the defence isn't up to scratch, so basically, all you got to do is score 1 more than the opposition. That's all it takes. Just score 1 more.
It sounds so simple, doesn't it?
It does sound simple, doesn't it?
You make it sound so easy, Jim.
Thing is, that's the problem, isn't it? Football on paper is so easy, and
That's
then you just put it on the real world and just cringe.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that,
So,
does it?
on
'Cause
the off chance Gareth is listening to this, which is very unlikely, but when you take a 1-0 lead, keep on attacking.
yeah, because you know you're going to concede at some point.
Keep on your attackers. Don't bring on
Because for a defender, he's
Harry
very
Maguire.
bad at training defenders or getting them organised anyway. Right, I've got some exciting news. Some exciting news. Girona are in financial trouble. Any ideas why I brought that up?
Because they're linked to Manchester City.
They're owned by the City Group
Right.
and they're in financial trouble. Who'd have thought? They're literally screwing over every club they're in charge of now.
And one of them clubs cannot be in the Champions League next year. And I think that both teams are now officially qualified, I believe.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Because
you can't have 2
Girona
teams with the same
have
owner.
just beaten Barcelona.
I mean, I don't agree with that personally, because if both teams are in there, if they're drawn against each other, they're drawn against each other. It doesn't matter whether the same company own it or not. You still both. I don't agree. I think they should just be allowed to, but
Yeah,
the financial irregularities need sorting.
The problem you've got there is, we like to think that the world's more honest than it is, but you've got match fixing. Now, if Girona don't have the financial backing that Man City are getting, La Liga's financial fair play we know is a joke, because let's look at it this way. Barcelona and Real Madrid haven't been wound up and they're billions in debt, so yeah. So we know that's a joke. Spanish football isn't the financial powerhouse that English football is. Again,
agreed.
Proven.
They don't bring the money
it's
in.
Fact.
No, it's fair enough.
So when it comes to the Champions League, say Girona do magically get to, say, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and they bump into Man City. Financially, and for your portfolio and everything, Man City are the team you want to go forward. Now, again, we all hope that in the sportsmanship and all that both teams will give their all. What is to turn around and say to Man City, yeah, you're going to go through. We've just paid off. We've just secretly given 4 million to each player to just not put it all out. Man City get the next round, easier route to the final.
I mean, it is always there as a possibility.
That's all hypothetical, what I've just said, but that's why they have this whole. You've got to look at Plata. Where's the money coming in for the owners? Because at the end of the day, whether you're a Qatari businessman who's just throwing money into something because you can, because you've got the money to piss away, because you don't care, you're still going to run it as a business. You're still going to want something back from it. There's got to be something coming back from it.
Do they though? Because have you seen the way they're running the golf? They're not getting anything back from that. Let me tell you.
The Saudis,
hundreds and hundreds of millions that they're throwing at that. So
but they throw it in every sport.
But
they've got the F1, they've got the
do they really
boxing.
need the money? Are they looking for the return? Because they just seem as though they're just throwing money upon money.
Yeah, but it's all about the profile, isn't it?
But the thing is they're making the money regardless. They don't need the money from the sport because they're already making it.
Yeah, but it's the profile, isn't it? For when you're sort of okay, it's like boy racers with their little backfiring cars. Everyone else just looks and goes, "What a twat!" But to boy racers, they're like, "Oh yeah, mine backfired like so much louder than everybody else's." It's like this prestige thing. It's bragging rights, isn't it? That's what it's about. So
yeah, but that's what I mean.
So
they're not looking for the money back.
No, but what I mean is, if you own Man City and then you own some little club in Spain, who do you want lifting
some little club in Spain?
Okay, so had you heard of them prior to Man City's takeover?
Yeah,
and
of course I heard.
Oh yeah, of course I had. Shut the fuck up.
I didn't know anything about them. I couldn't have told you one player that they got, but I'd heard of them.
I know I'd heard of them before, because it's where Oriol Romeo went when he left us.
Okay, there we go.
I'd heard of them, but I couldn't tell you who managed them or who played for them.
The whole point is when you own something and you've got the bragging rights and you sit there in your boardroom with your big fat cigar showing off to the other managers, who do you want to brag about? Man City?
Yeah, but this is the point, though, isn't it? Is they're not looking for the money to come back in because they're already making it elsewhere. So they're not asked. It's like if you had Elon Musk go and take over a football club. He's not taking over that football club to get the money back because the money's rolling in regardless. So he's just a bit like Abramovich. He didn't really care whether Chelsea made money or not. He stayed within financial fair play as much as he could.
Are you sure?
I think so, for the most part.
I'm not thoroughly convinced.
I think financial fair play came in because of him.
It did.
Because to start with, he just went mental. And I even had a Chelsea fan today on my Facebook thing under a picture of Trossard going, "Who's this guy?" And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, the joke's not funny. But no, it's not a joke. Who is it? Well, we clearly don't watch football then. I only watch Chelsea. Well, you just don't watch them when they play Brighton or Arsenal then, because he has played against you. Like, you should know who this scored against Chelsea as far as I'm aware, so you should know who he is. Jesus Christ. Like, we put 5 past you not long ago.
Problem is, half these people on Facebook, I'm sure they've probably not even seen a football.
I'm sure they haven't.
Probably just picked up a paper or something and gone, "Oh, I'll support that team that's top of the league."
Yeah, you're probably right. Next bit of news. There's a lot of news. So I'll try and fly through it as much as I can. Right, West Ham are in talks with Julian Lopetegui to replace Moyes. Good or bad? I think Moyes has done a fantastic job with
I
West
think
Ham.
Moyes.
Why are you
has
saying
gotta go.
Moyes?
I know.
Moyes. He's Scottish. Moyes. He's not Spanish. Moyes.
I don't know why he even
making
went with
Senor
it.
Moyes.
I think if I was Moyes, I'd leave now.
You know what? If I was Moyes,
He's done a
fuck
fantastic job,
Yeah.
and
I think
I'd
it's
go.
superb.
Because he's just getting scrutinised week in, week out, and yeah, West Ham are having a tough time. We've been battered for 5 today.
You know
Yeah,
what?
they
I'm
get
going to
robbed,
say
so-
this, right? I'm sick to death of hearing the West Ham fans banging on about the West Ham way. Please enlighten me to what the fuck the West Ham way is.
I don't understand
because
what that is.
I have not
I don't
seen
get it.
West Ham play any form of fast-flowing, high-tempo, high-press football in my 40 years of life. Okay, I've
I
not
don't
seen
know
them
what
play
it is.
anything what I would call spectacular. They've always played pretty much long ball or what we would call the English style. But all of a sudden, because every other fucking team in the country at the moment is playing this new high press tempo, they want to play it and it's their way. It's not your way, it's just what you want. The fact of the matter is,
Can't help it.
when they try to do it, they get fucking hammered and then they moan. They get a manager who's won them their first European title. Is it their first European title or their first one in something like 40 years or something?
I think it's
it
the
was the-
time frame more than.
I think it was the
first
first
ever.
in 47 years or
Yeah,
57 years or
something.
something
So
like
he's
that.
delivered their first piece of major silverware in nearly 50 years. And all they can do is bitch about him.
I mean, I'm with
It's-
Tim on this
it-
one because I think he's been brilliant.
I'd love for Southampton to go and win a
Mate, I'd take
major trophy.
I'd take Arsenal winning that trophy, right? And Arsenal should be in the Champions League. I'm not saying we should be winning it, but we should be in it. Should be competing. We should be getting past the group stage, as far as I'm aware, right? As far as I'm concerned. Okay, we don't have a divine right to do that, but I feel like we should be at a position where we're qualifying quite easily from the group stages. Probably then getting smashed by somebody afterwards, but that's not the point.
No,
But if we were in that competition and we won it, fucking, you're damn right, I'd go out and celebrate it. I'd be dead happy about it. We've got a bit of silverware.
Well, a bit of silverware, so it's golden. Would you like to congratulate your player on winning a trophy?
I would actually. I would like to give a huge congratulations to Tommy Asu, Ben White, Gabriel Saliba, and William Saliba, and Gabriel for helping the absolute clown that we've got in that David Raya get a golden glove. And I can't believe he's getting awarded when he's just handed goal after goal after goal after goal after goal away, which I find really annoying. But congrats to the back four for helping him.
To be fair, he gave away a bit of a goal yesterday that
He got fucking lucky.
he got lucky because it wasn't a foul.
I'm more annoyed yesterday. I can't get past Havertz from yesterday. That really irritated me. I know we got a penalty, but I can't get past that because he's done that on multiple occasions now. How
he's
is
bought
he?
it? He
how is
knows the rules.
How is that not being pulled up? Because it's obvious.
Because strikers are allowed to do it. Jamie Vardy was a king of doing it.
Yeah, absolute joke. Shouldn't be getting away with
Because
it.
they've been taught how to do it. See the keeper gliding out, keep your one foot on the floor, and let the keeper hit it.
Absolute joke. I'm glad Saka didn't get away with it against Porto because he should have stayed on his feet and scored the winner anyway. And I find it really annoying that our players are doing it more and more and more. It's embarrassing. Anyway, oh yeah, PSG, they want Darwin Núñez, apparently, from Liverpool.
I'm pretty sure Liverpool would be quite happy to let him go.
Yeah. How much?
Well, I don't know.
I
'cause
think
it's-
they're fed up. When I was speaking to
The fans
Yove about
might.
it, he's given up.
The fans
With
love him.
Núñez. No, they don't. They don't. They've given up with him because he gets offside half the time. He wastes so many chances, and they're just getting really
He is
frustrated
offside
with
a
him.
lot.
Oh yeah.
It's the most in the league. It's 30, I think it is, unless he's been offside
You've
today.
been back in the stats, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, I know a few Liverpool fans, and they all seem to have this like rose-tinted view of him. They still think that he's like the best thing since sliced bread.
It depends if you speak to the deluded Liverpool fans
The
or
only-
there's some that
the
are
only
okay.
reason-
Most of them are.
The only reason one of them that I know has turned against against him was because her lad was waiting to meet him and asked him for an autograph, and he literally just shunned him off. Didn't even acknowledge him, just walked past him, which I think
really
is
bad, isn't it?
absolute. At the end of the day, the reason he is where he is because of people like that kid.
Yeah, of course it is. Of
And
course it is,
to
because
do
they're
that-
the ones that worship him.
Yeah, but that's like Warnock has always said. You will sign autographs. You will do things because these people pay your wages.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
And it's like, it's the cost of being famous, isn't it? You want to be famous, you've got to respect the people that put you there.
Course,
And he apparently he's quite rude, and he's got no time. So that person no longer likes him at all. But prior to that, favourite player, best player, blah blah blah.
Yeah, they were on that side, but I know a few of them they've really had enough of it.
You know
now,
what? They
so.
he'll do fine at PSG.
Right. Another couple bits of news for you. Your wanted guy, you personally, not your team, Rotherham's goalkeeper,
Yep.
wanted
900k.
wanted to apologise to the fans, bought over 600 beers.
I know, what
Yeah,
a
he
legend.
did.
What an absolute
Do
legend.
you know what?
Fair play.
Superb. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love stuff like that.
And you know what?
600 pints at what? £5 a pint, probably.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot, isn't it?
He's
Fair play to him, though.
No,
I
no,
quite
absolute
love
top guy.
that.
Top guy.
Will Still, the football manager that got hired because he was good on Football Manager,
Yeah.
he's left his club.
Interesting.
How long was he there, though? I'm shocked he was there that long. He's had a longer career than he should have done.
Yeah, that's true.
He's there on Football Manager. I still can't get my head around that now, but fair play to him. Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds want to increase the capacity at Wrexham to 55,000.
I think that's overstepping, personally.
I mean, maybe
Hang on.
35,
Yeah, I was going to
40.
say, what you got to remember is this is a club that used to be a giant. They used to be massive.
Yeah.
Wrexham used to be up there. In fact, were they ever in Division 1? I know they were in Division 2, back in when Division 1 was the top one and so forth.
I'm certain they would have been at some point.
So Wrexham were a massive club. We've got to remember that. And I was listening to TalkSport the other day, and they had the guy who basically convinced those two to buy Wrexham.
Right.
And he was saying that one of the things is a lot of fans were going to like Everton, Liverpool, and going through Wrexham, which is, you know, logistically you understand. But now they're not, and they're stopping there, and they're starting to find that they can't. They've got too many people asking for tickets. They can't fill the stadium, and then it's like they go to Wembley and they're selling 40,000 tickets. Now, don't get me wrong, the internet is amazing, and social media has done so much for them.
Yeah, of
And
course.
that gravy train will run out soon. And I think this season coming in League One will be a massive eye-opener for them. I think that they expected a tougher time in League Two, and their fame and money carried them. And the fact that they've been able to bring players down from higher leagues, like, oh, come on, come over and have faith in us, faith in the project, and they've done well. I think once you start going to like League One towards Championship and stuff, then the game starts becoming a lot more about the pocket, size of your pockets and how much you're generating.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Wrexham do not generate the revenue that they will require, especially to bounce straight in. And he even said that they're aiming for survival. This is like inventing it. Now, I think if they can convert their ground into like a 30,000 ground, that would sustain them massively. And there are.
Do we know what it is
Yeah.
now? I don't know what it is
No.
now.
I couldn't tell you right now.
Do you want to
I'll
Google
try
it?
and find out. But the problem you've got is, right, so how many clubs in League One have a stadium capacity of around 30,000?
Probably not that many.
No, I wouldn't have thought that many.
Birmingham, probably.
Now.
Oh, someone just had to put that in there. That's a nice one.
I quite like the
mean-
fact Birmingham have gone now.
I'll probably say it now. I think that Wrexham will get promoted next year as well.
Wow.
I
Big
don't
shout.
know.
Big
Don't
shout.
get me wrong, it's not
I'm
like
making a note of that.
Because
Yeah.
people, some of fans of other clubs that I've spoken to, that have basically kind of taken Wrexham in as a soft spot because of obviously their show, Welcome to Wrexham, I think it is. And, you know, people have got on board with what they're doing. And, you know, they went to a couple Stoke fans that I spoke to, they went to the Crew versus Wrexham game
Yeah.
just to go see Wrexham, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
and they said that
it's
Wrexham were a side that when they played Crew, they looked like a championship side, the way that they were playing. And I mean, Crew were in the playoffs, so not like the were struggling side. And Wrexham were a class above, and their fans were so loud. as well. And the thing is that, and as long as they're doing that show as well, and they've got that celebrity, they're just going to keep going.
Yeah, of course they will. Yeah.
I think I don't think they'll get promoted. Okay, so at the moment,
What is it now?
It's a 19,118 capacity.
Do they really need to go from 19,000 to 55,000?
I think that's overstretching. That's
massive,
but here's the
isn't it?
problem.
They need to build a stadium where they've got the ability to go, where they can build on top of it.
Yeah,
What if it does go the other way?
Like St Mary's can be built and extended because that's the way it's been built, and it was going to be extended if they'd have got the pick
Fans.
for the rugby.
Oh,
right.
No, it
thought
was
you
the
meant if they've
rugby.
got
If they
enough
got
fans.
picked for the rugby stadium, it would have had an increase. But
Right.
it does need an increase. At the moment, it is selling out, but increase it by 10,000. I don't think it's going to be a sellout. You increase Ellen Road. We've said it before. Increase Ellen Road by 10,000, they're going to still sell out. But increase it by 20,000, you're probably still going to sell out.
The season ticket waiting list is over 30,000.
that's insane, isn't it?
Villas
It
is
makes
over
you wonder
60,
why they haven't.
Aston Villas is over 60,000.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that is a fan base for you. Just wanted to put that out there. But on that whole note, I'm
Who's
just
he sucking up to?
Not sure.
don't know. No, two things I want to point out. Right. So here's two clubs that I'm going to reference to on stadium atmosphere. One thing Wrexham have at the moment is they've got a 19,000 stadium that is packed. The atmosphere is insane. Loftus Road. Has anyone been to Loftus Road?
Once, but it was a long, long, long
Right.
time ago.
So do you remember how close you were to the pitch? Do you remember how it was like a cauldron? It was amazing. The atmosphere in there is tense.
I mean, I don't remember it being tense, but like I say, it was years ago.
It's a really good ground.
I remember you being quite
it's-
close.
And it's really in there. You've also been to the Milton Keynes Stadium.
MK Dons is a fabulous stadium.
Oh, it's a fabulous stadium. It's always fucking empty though.
Yeah,
And
but this is my
where's the
point.
atmosphere? No, so where's the atmosphere? You lose that intensity. Now, Wrexham have glided on this beauty of this. Oh, come look, Ryan Reynolds, and they've built this foundation of support that's got them the people. But all of a sudden, if you make it too big and there's not enough people to fill it, the atmosphere is lost. And that's when the problem becomes, because all of a sudden that home advantage of the atmosphere, because that's what you want. You want that hostile atmosphere. You don't want that other team coming in and having an easy day.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I'm going to use Blackburn as an example for Leeds. Well, for most teams actually, because fair play to them, the Blackburn fans have voted with their feet and they turned around and gone, we don't like the ownership, so you know what, we're not going to fucking turn up. But when we went to Ewood Park, it was like we were the home team. Although we had a third of the stadium, that's a third of the stadium.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And
isn't it?
Leeds fans are loud as fuck at the best of times. So it didn't feel like an away game.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a position where you don't have that, the 12th man, as it would be,
Yeah.
is it a good thing? So going up to 55,000, I don't think.
I just think it's
No.
too excessive, personally.
I think 30,000 will put them in a great position. You've got that position to elevate yourself, and then you can add more. But I think going too big too soon is just a bad idea.
I would agree. I think it's a bit excessive.
I mean, stadiums do that. I mean, the Dell, what a horrible stadium, but I loved it. Again, it was compact, it wasn't big, you didn't have that many fans, but it was loud. It was a horrible place for people to go. We moved stadium, we struggled, administration comes, you get relegated. Now, Everton, I think when they go to their new ground, I think they're going to suffer because Goodison Park is I've been there a couple of times, it's quite a good ground. If they're not winning, their fans are shit. But when they are winning, the fans are quite good.
I'll tell you why they're going to struggle as well, is because I don't believe for a second that there's an Arsenal fan that visited Highbury during a game that wouldn't have it back in a heartbeat, no matter how much it's making for the club, because Highbury was so good as an Arsenal fan.
Well, as an atmosphere, I've been to both. I've been to Highbury, great atmosphere. I've been to Emirates, it's shit. I'm sorry, the Emirates atmosphere was shit.
When you go now they're doing well. I mean, the atmosphere is better, but it still doesn't feel like Highbury. Highbury was just something on its own. It was a brand all unto itself, really. It was so good.
I honestly have to say, again, it's a league a couple of leagues down, so this is probably a better reference than talking about Premier League clubs. And we have noticed with Premier League clubs that even moving into a new stadium just doesn't work. But I'm going to use Stoke City, because one of my first ever games I ever went to see was at the old Victoria ground.
Yeah.
And I've also been to the Britannia multiple times.
I'm the same, so I'll know exactly what you're
And the weird thing
going
is,
with.
there is something about old school grounds versus a new stadium that just, I don't know, the atmosphere is never as good, because they actually put a thing out to the Leeds fans saying, should we move from Ellen Road? And everyone's like, no. Ellen Road is home.
I think for me the thing is old stadiums were built for football. They were built specifically for football and only for football. Stadiums nowadays, I mean, look at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's going, oh, it's the best in the world, it's this and that, but it's not. It's designed for football, American football, concerts, this, that, the other. It's designed with money in mind, not football.
We've already established
same
that
with the Emirates.
it's just been built. They've basically just knocked White Hart Lane and given it a revamp. It's not a stadium move.
Technically, it's not a stadium move.
It's just a revamp.
It's a rebuild, really,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's rebuilt for making money, not for football.
Yeah.
Like Emirates, it's about making money. It's not about football.
But yeah, I do think you definitely lose something with the moving of stadiums or these new stadiums. They don't feel the same. The atmosphere is completely different.
I would agree, and I prefer the older ones.
Different
Right.
sound.
Yes, yeah.
It's a different sound.
It's not built for football. It's
Yeah.
not built for them acoustics anymore.
No.
It's built just to make money.
Light shows.
There you go. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on really quickly, and then I'm going to save two of the news bits for the second half, because I'd like to go into it a little bit. So we've got Phil Foden, won Football Writers Footballer of the Year. Do we agree with that? I think he's been superb. I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind it's an English-only thing, so it's not...
Well, it's got to be an English player, is it?
No, it's England, so Bellingham's not going to be in it, because obviously the Football
Yeah,
Writers is just over here,
And it's Premier League only, really.
basically.
I'm happy enough with him winning it.
I would agree. I think he's been absolutely superb.
Yeah.
So, right, I think what we're going to do then is we're going to go to a break, and then I've got one last bit of news that I want us to actually talk about, and then we'll go on to predictions, games, and Tim was just going to say a massive congratulations and some other bits and pieces. So we shall see you beautiful people after the break. Hello and welcome back to the second half of the Sunday League Pundit Show, episode 28. I'd like to start, I wasn't going to start the whole podcast like this, because at least with it being the second half, I know people have stuck with it to the second half.
Right.
So it's more of an apology really to our audio-only listeners, because I made a change a little while ago to save us a bit of money, to change the podcast supplier. And in order to do that, I had to edit the audio down a little bit, so it was a little shorter than the YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I could only upload a certain amount of time onto this platform. I didn't really think that was going to be an issue, but we've had enough contact that's made me restart the subscription to actually just post as it is, which now means I'm going to be able to post the audio only quicker. So
Brilliant.
instead of being Thursday, it should still be Tuesday morning. But I've done that for the listeners because like I say, we've had enough contact from you guys to basically force us into doing something about it, which is fine. I don't mind that. I've got no problem with that at all. It's nice to know that people. I didn't think it would be an issue. I didn't think people cared, and it turns out people actually do.
Yeah.
Happy days.
So yeah, if anything, I'm quite happy about the fact that people care enough that it's made me change and go back into it again. So yeah, so I'm hoping that this week will be the first week where it goes back up on a Tuesday, audio only, and then we should just go from there then, and it should be like that recurring. I didn't think people would be bothered. It turns out they are. So my apologies for that, but I will be changing it for you guys again. And we love you all for listening. So thank you very much. Right, a couple of things that I want to talk about. Then we'll go into week's events and prediction game and everything else. Mark Clattenburg has resigned as the referee consultant to Nottingham Forest because of the amount of hatred and abuse, and I think a lot of that is off his mates in the refereeing union. But Forest should have had 3 penalties. a couple of weeks ago. All three
Yeah.
were Stonewall.
Oh.
So I understand why Clattenburg is then on behalf of Forest going, that was a mistake, that was a mistake, that was a mistake. Also, I would like to point out that the Forest, Nottingham Forest, as a club have been fined, the owner has been fined, and the manager has been fined,
And a player.
and a player,
Yeah.
for things that were said after that game.
Yeah.
Nothing has happened to the VAR official.
But this is what I was saying the other week. There's no accountability from the officials.
That
it's like-
is disgusting.
It's like they can fuck up all they like, but if you step slightly over the line, you get fined.
Big fines as well.
It's just, it's wrong.
Well, it is going to be on the episode Mic'd Up. I'm not sure if that's out yet.
I just think it's a bit late, if anything.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
It doesn't matter.
It's not going
It's,
to do.
it's too late now.
It's not going to do Forest any good. They're not
No.
going to get them points back.
Yeah,
And
but-
that's the thing. But again, Liverpool, they should have had a point. That one, they should have had three. 3 penalties, you're scoring 2 of them.
Man United.
I'm sorry. Man United. Again.
The fact of the matter is, right, it doesn't matter whether they're on mic'd up or if they're looking into it. Why is there no accountability?
No, I agree.
Why is it? That's almost like saying you've got 3 types of people. Just three random people. One can stab someone, no one cares. The other one stabs someone, they're going to prison. What separates those 2 people? In this case, it's being a referee.
Yeah,
And okay, it was an
I
extreme.
find it really annoying.
It's an extreme example, but the
Very
positions-
extreme.
Yeah, but my point still stands.
Murder.
Why is it that maiming? Come on, don't have to kill someone with stabbing.
it's good to know he's thought about it.
But no, but my point stands. It's like, why is it that
No, I
one
agree.
person is completely and totally like exempt from any accountability whatsoever?
There's no blame there at all, is there? Like, it's their fault that it's gone wrong, and it's
Absolutely.
their. And this is what I was saying a little while ago. Everyone wants to talk about your reaction. No one wants to talk about what caused your reaction, and that I find
Yeah.
infuriating. Because it's not all about the reaction.
At the end of the day, they're not going to have an interview after the game because they can't say what they want to say about the game because
Basically,
they
they'll
get
just come out and
fined.
go, well,
No.
we need to interview your manager. No.
That's what
about your
Moyes did the other
assistant?
week.
No, not
Can't
sending
answer
anyone
that.
out.
Can't answer that. I'll get fined.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't Salah say something similar in his interview
And the
as
thing
well?
is,
Can't
the
talk shit 'cause
players-
I'll get in trouble.
Are being probed to, and the managers are being probed by Sky Sports, BBC, whoever it is,
To get that reaction.
to get that reaction, to get them fined.
To be
And they'll
honest,
just keep rewording the question differently to
I
get
would
them.
rather listen to the managers and what they actually think. Just stop fining them. Let them have an opinion. They're human beings. As long as they're not up there effing and jeffing and, and directly slagging somebody off for,
Perhaps it's all this snowflake hurt the officials' feelings kind of thing.
Oh, it could be.
Do you think the officials need a safe?
Forcing.
They've got a safe
respect.
place. It's called the VAR room.
Yeah.
Stockley Park is the name of their safe space.
I just find the whole thing absolute farcical.
I'm fairly certain that'll be half of their safe words as well when they're, entertaining. Just shout Stockley. You've had enough. It's too much
It's
anyway.
all a farce.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, right, is Arsenal got beat by Aston Villa a couple of weeks ago,
They did.
right? And all you hear and all you see is Arsenal have bottled it, which to a point I agree with, because we shouldn't have been beaten by Villa, given the run that we were on and how well we were playing. So I agree with that. Do you know what I've never heard, ever? I've never, ever heard somebody say that Liverpool have bottled it.
This goes on to the conversation I said the other day.
Have they
Liverpool
bottled it, or have they not?
Liverpool
this
have
season?
pretty much bottled it every season in the since
Apart from
Costa.
one, and that
The
they
one-
had a ridiculous amount of help from VAR
Oh, yeah.
during COVID.
But, yeah, so during the COVID year, where they got no fans on their back, they had it easy. VAR seemed to be quite helpful. They won the league. Every other year, they have bottled it.
But nobody ever talks about them bottling it, do they?
No.
Even when you listen
but
on the
it's-
radio
it's
and stuff like that,
selective.
Spurs have bottled it, Arsenal have bottled it.
It is selective punditry.
Never with Liverpool.
Because
You
everyone
never
loves
hear
the-
Liverpool have bottled this, bottled that.
Punditry loves Liverpool. Because they're always the victim
Joke.
and never the culprit.
It's annoying.
So I know the result's over today, and it's a bit unfortunate that Liverpool have beaten Spurs today. But before the game, who did you want to win that game?
Couldn't care less.
Couldn't care less. Now you should care less, because you're relying on Spurs to beat Manchester City, Now, I know you say that Spurs would lose on purpose to Manchester City, so Arsenal don't win the league. Now, if Spurs had won today, Villa lost today, they're 2 games in hand. I know I always say points on the board's more important. They'd have been a point behind Villa. Are you telling me that when they play, if they were a point behind Villa and they're playing Manchester City for a chance in the Champions League, that they're going to roll over and not try against Man City?
Yes, but I'll tell you why they're going to
The
roll over.
fans would want you to roll over. The players won't, because the players don't give a shit because they don't care about a North London derby.
I think Spurs would roll over, and I'll tell you why I think they would roll over. Because they're crap.
Okay, I'll give you that
So,
one.
I don't think it matters whether Spurs were level with points with Villa, 3 points ahead of Villa with worse goal difference. I don't think it matters. I think they're going to get turned over by City regardless because they're shite.
But it's probably City's hardest game is Spurs.
So City are going to win the league, but then I've been saying that for months.
But you are relying on them, and
Right.
I know you say that they won't.
Here you go, right. Tottenham, West Ham away, 1-1. Nottingham Forest at home, they won 3-1. Then they got Newcastle away, lost 4-0. Arsenal at home, lost 3-2, should have been way worse other than David Raya. Chelsea away, lost 2-0. And Liverpool away, they've lost 4-2. Are you telling me that they've got any chance of putting anything past City? Whether they've won today or not?
No, I don't think they will. But you want them to actually be in with a chance to actually compete against Man City.
I genuinely don't think it would make a difference. I think City's toughest game is West Ham.
I think if you
just because I think West Ham are a tough team to play against anyway, and I think Spurs are shite. Yeah. They're shocking.
I bet you if you ask Spurs fans, would they sacrifice
100%
the Champions League for that?
Because I've seen them on TikTok. Because my son is a Spurs fan, my best mate's a Spurs fan, so I type Spurs in my phone a lot. I get a lot of Spurs stuff coming up when I'm trying to sort out the podcast stuff on TikTok. Every single Spurs fan I've seen has gone, they would quite happily throw Champions League this season, well, next season, to not see Arsenal win the league. Every single one of them. Now,
the players wouldn't though.
The thing for me is
not going to give up their bonus because they don't care about North London.
No, and I understand that. They're only going to give up their bonus, like I say, because they're shite. And City are going to turn them over regardless. Tottenham have got no chance in that game. So our only chance as Arsenal is for West Ham to do something against City. And they only have to draw with them, bearing in mind, unless City put 6 past Spurs, which is a realistic possibility, because our goal difference isn't that much different anymore. Because City have been scoring goals for fun.
How funny would it be, though, if it is that game that gives Arsenal the
I would enjoy that. I personally would enjoy it. If it's Tottenham that beat City or draw with them or screw them over in some way, I would take great delight in that, if that was the reason we won the league. But this is something I wanted to talk to you about, right? Because everyone keeps, and I've said it on here a few times, but everyone keeps saying, oh, Premier League's the best league in the world, this is the best league in the world, that's the best in the world, that's the best in the world. City are on for 6 out of 7, and the very same 3 teams that got promoted are now going to get relegated. Is that the best league in the world? Or is that the most predictable league in the world? Your 3 promoted go down, and the same team win the league year after year after year after year.
It all depends on what Luton do with their 2 games. They've got 2 winnable games. I can't see them doing it, though.
I don't think it'll make a difference. I think Everton need to put their ideas up, because they've been floating with relegation that long. Reminds me of Villa. When they floated relegation, eventually you're going to go down.
But this season they're nowhere near relegation.
They're 2 places above it.
Give them a points back, they're nowhere near relegation.
Yeah, give them their 50. Oh, sorry, no, we got reduced a lot. Yeah, give them their 8 points back.
But they need to be careful, because they're not good, and they're flirting.
Well, the interesting thing is, Forest can have more points added if their appeal goes wrong.
Which will just screw Luton over more.
And apparently, Forest's appeal is first, and Everton were kind of like, we'll see how that goes, and then we might withdraw our appeal.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, that, isn't it? I don't like the way it's all dealt with. I don't like the way it's all handled.
I think if you're arguing 2 points, I think you deserve to get them more added on. It's like
Yeah,
if
you're
you
probably
appeal a
right.
red card that you know is a red card and you had another game
You get
suspension.
another game, don't you? Yeah.
It's like going to court, pleading guilty, and then changing your mind.
That sounds like he's had experience of that. Shh. Interesting to know what he's done. Right, shall we go into the predictions game, boys?
Not really.
Final table.
Tim Ribs.
Final
Is it
table.
the final
wasn't it?
table? Because we did say if you two were in the playoffs, we'd keep it going. So technically, you've got another week or two yet.
Hey, you said it was over.
I said we'd see whether you were in the. I said if you're both in the playoffs, we'll keep it going. Right. Anyway, we have the results from last week: Mac versus Worksop, Leeds Saints, and Arsenal Bournemouth. We went with the Mac game, obviously, because you two guys were playing each other. So Mac Worksop, Tin Ribs got it wildly wrong.
Very wrong.
I think you only went for Worksop winning because everyone else went for Mac winning, and you saw the points as important for the
And also
predictions
that
game.
Worksop had won the previous 2 games as well.
And Worksop had won the previous 2. Now, Darryl got a full hit on that.
I know,
He got
yeah.
the 3-1. I said 2-0. You said 2-0, Jim. Jay said 2-all draw. Max said 3-0. So, I got a point. Jim got a point. Max got a point. Darryl got 3. So he did quite well that one. Leeds Saints, I thought it'd be a draw. You said 2-1 Leeds. Tin Ribs, you said 4-0 Leeds because you were on a right downer, miserable git. Darryl said 2-0 Leeds. Jay said 2-1 to Southampton. So that's Jay's not first direct hit.
But can I just say that the reason he said 4-0 was because he expected the same half-assed team turnout that they put out against Stoke, not the full fucking side.
Full
Yes.
side with some players in a different position and playing a different
Yeah, I know,
tactic
yeah.
that we
Tin Ribs
played all
was
season.
not happy about that game at all because he was messaging us in the
Oh,
in
yeah.
the pod group.
No.
Oh, Tin Ribs was angry.
I wasn't
Really
so angry.
angry. You were quite chilled and relaxed and quiet. We didn't hear much from
No,
you
no,
during the
quiet.
game. I think he was scared of jinxing it,
Absolutely.
and I think that's why he didn't mention in the group much. But you were very
I was
active
pissed.
in the group. Oh,
Mate,
I know.
we could not defend for shit. We basically handed them 3 goals, but the things that were pissing me off was the referee was fucking horrendous. Like when
Sam
Armstrong,
Byram fucking stamped on what's
Yeah.
it player.
yeah, after
Yeah.
he got absolutely cleaned out by Armstrong, and the ref just went,
You had
"It's
to. didn't
okay."
You had, look
okay.
at you. Look
So-
at you. Know what you were doing.
I do. I
Yeah,
do.
Southampton fucking just kicked lumps out, and it was like, "No, it's all right. Carry on." Fuck, the ref was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
So Tin Ribs really enjoyed the Leeds versus Southampton game. He watched every single second of it.
You know what was funny?
And we got
When
loads of
you
lovely
watched
messages.
the second goal where all the fans are going absolutely livid at the lino and stuff and not giving a ball going out of play. The ball didn't go out
went
of
nowhere
play.
near out. Nowhere near out. It was.
You did say that, to be fair.
It was in. It
But
was in.
Yeah, you did say that.
Firpo, he
Oh,
gave
mate,
up
fucking
completely.
arsehole. I've been like all season. I've been saying, you know what? He's actually been good this season, and now he's just like last 3 games. He might as well have back like when he was in the Premiership. He was fucking horrendous, and he can fuck off on the first jet gone.
I think he's happy with him.
Yeah.
Right, so then we went into the Arsenal-Bournemouth game now. I, unfortunately, said Arsenal would win 3-1, because I assumed Raya was going to screw us over and at least concede 1, and he didn't. We won 3-0.
Well, he did. He did concede 1. When he did that pathetic punch
Well,
after being tapped
what I'm
slightly
going to-
by
That wasn't a
Solanke.
foul.
What
for me.
I'm going to say is, if the referees could get the fucking game right, my score would have been absolutely bang on.
2-1, yeah, it would.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
rest
because
couldn't.
for
fucking
me,
run for shit.
right, I don't think that was a foul on
It wasn't.
Raya. I think
it
he
wasn't.
needs to be
It's a legitimate-
stronger.
It is a goal. There's
I think he
nothing wrong
needs
with
to be
that.
stronger. That's all.
It's
But
a
then
goal
there's
or
a lot of
penalty.
that going
It's a
on
goal
at the
or a
minute.
penalty.
That's a goal.
No, but what I'm saying is, it is a goal or a penalty.
But it's
Yeah.
a goal. It's a goal. Raya just needs to be stronger. That for me is
Yeah.
pathetic. Really pathetic. But yeah, I said 3-1. You said 2-1. You said 3-0, so you got a direct hit. Darryl said 3-0, so he's got his second direct hit of the week. Max said 3-0, so he's got a direct hit. And Jay said 3-1, so he's got a point. So we all got points in the last game, which means now don't forget we've got an extra week now. Well, we've done the table, so we know how many points you need in that last one.
Like I say, I'm
So
fucked.
I would like to point out to anyone listening, Darryl, that we are taking suggestions on the forfeit that the losing member is going to get, and it does look more and more like it's going to be tin ribs, Darryl. So if anyone, Darryl, wants to give us any form of suggestion, Darryl, feel free to get in touch and give us a suggestion on what we should do to, for, with, because of tin ribs for his forfeit, and we will happily take them all on board as long as they are horrendously embarrassing and or degrading in some way, shape or form. So the actual table as it stands right now
Well,
is...
are you doing 1 week or are you doing 2 more weeks?
Minimum 2. Isn't
I mean,
Because we can do 2 weeks the way that the fixtures have fallen.
Yeah.
2 weeks is
If
absolutely
we're
fine
doing
for
one,
me.
we might as well do the other.
No, I'm happy to stay with 2. Happy to stay with 2. So the table as it stands right now is Jay is holding us all up, you strong man, with 36. We've got next in 5th. We have Tin Ribs with 41 points. In 4th, we have Max, who, let's remind ourselves, he didn't play the first 5 or 6 weeks. Max with 42. Then you have Jim Jam in 3rd with 45. Then you've got me in 2nd with 48, and Daryl's way ahead now with 55. He's really done really well this week. So we've got a couple of weeks left, but you are now 4 points behind Jim Jam. So you need him to screw up royally this week, and you need some direct hits, because even getting the correct result in all 3 is not going to help you with 3 points.
Yeah, I know.
But as we say, there's 2 weeks left, so you could still redeem yourself.
Not a chance.
But if,
And I imagine we're not going to, we might even go the same way on some games.
possibly, but again, you're going to have to go first, because otherwise you could just copy him and keep him underneath you, which would be
Yeah.
harsh. So let's get the games out.
So we know it's Leeds away at Norwich.
Norwich at home. To Leeds. Travelling fans, eh? So, Jim.
Going to go 2-1 Leeds.
2-1 Leeds. Now, you can go for a Leeds win if it's a different score, because you could still get 2 points on him. But you need the direct
6
tag.
weeks, haven't you? 1-0 Norwich.
1-0 Norwich. You have been complaining for a while that Norwich are going to beat you. We're all going to go for a different result here.
Oh, you're going for a draw. Sitting on the
Because
fence.
I think it's going to be 1-1. Because I think you're both going to go for it. And I think you're both good enough
Well,
to
you've
score.
got to go for it. It's the fucking playoffs. It's
Well,
not
you say that,
capital.
but I've seen some that haven't. Right, next one.
So Southampton will be away at West Brom.
Yep.
So we've got West Brom v Saints. Jim's beloved Saints.
2-2.
Jim has gone for a 2-2. Sorry, 2-2.
2-2.
I moved away from the mic then, sorry about that. Yeah, but Tin Ribs,
1-1.
1-1. So we're going for a completely different thing. We are going for a completely different thing, because I think Saints are going to win 2-1. So you really do have to hope for some direct hits here now then. Right, next game, as I've forgotten who Arsenal have actually got.
No. It's Man United, mate.
I know.
You fucking tit.
My issue with playing Man United is we never seem to have an easy ride against them. We always seem
Yeah,
to
but
struggle.
Man United always pull it out in the big game.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
going to
like
let you
it.
predict first on this one.
Yeah.
Because I have still got to try catch you as well.
I am going to go... Do you know what? I'm going to go positive this week for a change. I'm going to go positive, and I'm going to go for... How bad is it going to be? Do you know what? I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1. Okay. Tinridge.
3-2 Arsenal.
3-2 Arsenal. Okay,
I
right.
think it's going to be like what they did with Liverpool. It's going to be like right to the wire in the score.
To be fair, I had the scores in my head anyway, so
Yeah.
and I knew what I was going to predict anyway, so it didn't matter what order we went in. I wasn't going to change my mind.
Well, what I'll do is I'll get them out to the other guys as soon as possible, and we'll get their predictions in. And yeah, for those on audio only that won't know, I'm currently wearing some Sunday League Pundit Show merch that was actually bought for me by a good friend of mine who had it done. So I've got the T-shirt there. I will take some pictures and that and put it up on Facebook and TikTok and what have you, because what we've decided to do is when we do the fantasy football for the Euros, whoever wins it is going to get one. So you'll send us your address and your size. We'll order you one and have it shipped out to you. So yeah, this shirt that I'm currently wearing is going to be there available for the winner of the Euros fantasy football game. We'll get one ordered for you and get it sent out to you. So yeah, hopefully that's a bit of an incentive to play and have a bit of fun with us over the Euros, and no doubt listening to Tin Ribs being very, very happy about the way that the football is going to go, because we all know Southgate's going to be shite, and we're going to be too defensive, and we're going to end up losing a game that we shouldn't be losing, because that's just the way it is, and it's the way we are, and it's the way we go. How are you feeling about your semi-final?
Nervous. I will be nervous. There's a part of me that wants to stay in the Championship. I'm quite happy with having no VAR. I would like to play Portsmouth, but then I do want to get promoted because it's Premier League and Portsmouth got promoted, so it's kind of a big up yours to Portsmouth if we get promoted as well, because then their promotion's pointless. Well, not pointless, but diminish it a little bit.
I was going to say, promotion's not really pointless, but it would diminish it, I think, for them a little bit if you got promoted as well.
Beating Leeds was a positive, just the fact that it gives that little bit of momentum. He did play full strength side. Flynn Downs is absolutely the most important player to us, and he's a lone player. Don't fall in love with lone players.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a couple of times that you're not happy about it.
But no, I like the fact that he played some direct long balls as well, which was completely different. I have to give it to Alex McCarthy as well. He's not really done too much wrong.
Made some good saves.
So can't really argue there. Still one new keeper, I think.
I was going to say, you did mention that a couple of weeks ago that you were a new
He's definitely
keeper.
not Prem quality, but hopefully it's enough. Secret weapon in Ross Stewart, he got a few minutes. Half like the team he put out, but then I didn't, because it was like, it was a perfect chance to give Suleimana a full game to see what he can actually do, rather than coming on for 20 minutes, 17 minutes. He's not going to do anything. I think he's a player that just leaves for whatever we get for him. So I'm hopeful, but who knows what can happen. It's one of them. We've beaten West Brom.
So it's
in the league,
more hope than optimistic.
But just because
then.
you've beaten them in the league twice doesn't necessarily mean that you'll go do that. Because listening to Sam Judd, but Palace, when they went into the playoffs, the team that they played, he said, we beat them twice in the league, and he said that's actually a worse thing because they'll have learned from that experience.
Derby.
And you go into it thinking...
Derby, was it?
Derby beat Leeds, didn't they? Remember? We completely capitulated in the second half. We just steamrolled us.
Because your team go into
we
it
lost
thinking...
to Derby in the playoffs as well.
We've already beaten these twice. Derby have been promoted again as well. Fair play
they
to
have.
them.
That should have been my congratulations, when you did it earlier.
Yeah.
I thought a bit about a minute after, and I was
to
like,
be fair, though,
too late.
Given what Derby... Didn't they start a season with like 4 registered players or 5 registered players?
You know
or
what?
someone
Derby were absolutely torn to pieces when they got relegated.
They've been amazing.
Yeah, it's good to see that a team can be torn apart that badly and somehow muster together players that want to play. Because that's the thing. When you're in that position, because we had it at Leeds, when you're in that position, the players you bring in, a lot of them, because your finances are shot, your position's shot, they're not players that you can. They're not mercenaries, not players that you're bringing in because they're a bit. You're bringing them in because they want to play.
Yeah.
So it's
I mean,
good to see a reward.
they did start one of the seasons, didn't they? With like 8 youth players or something, like under 18s playing for them or something, and they really struggled. So fair play to Derby.
It was pretty much when Rooney was there. I mean, he took them down, and I mean, obviously, he's pretty much took.
Who's that?
But the thing is, you look at it, the Championship final day. I mean, I watched it on the highlight show because it went between the games. It was quite an interesting. Although I knew what the end outcome anyway, but I watched them as the goals went in and he went across multiple grounds. It was an interesting way of seeing it. But John Eustace, who was in 5th place, they said, in the Championship, and got sacked to bring in Wayne Rooney. 6th. Yeah. I think Wayne Rooney took over when they were in 5th. I think they won a game after or something like that.
I would like to respectfully disagree with Rooney. Took them down. He did fantastically well. He took over a team that were 5th and got them relegated. I think that's an absolute feat.
The manager that obviously got sacked, John Eustace, where did he end up at?
I don't know.
Blackburn.
And they were the ones that
won their last game of the season
to relegate Birmingham.
And they beat Leicester.
Wow,
to stay
amazing.
up.
I would. That was going to be one of my things actually to say to Darryl, like a big congratulations and a thank you congratulations for staying in the Championship, and a thank you for sending Birmingham down, because I'm not a big fan of Birmingham, and I quite like the fact that they've gone down to League One. So yeah, well done, Darryl. Congrats.
Can you see Smodic staying?
And you're definitely playing one of these next season, guaranteed. Maybe even both.
Actually, on that note, very quickly.
But he won the Golden Boot for the Championship. I mean, 27
finishing
goals.
Just above the relegation as well. That's some going, that is.
He single-handedly, I reckon, kept them
Without him, they'd be down.
Yeah. I mean, Armstrong, I think he finished 2nd with 21 goals. Obviously,
6
he's
behind
got more.
as well, so good amount,
Armstrong got more assists, but the crazy stat for Armstrong is the chances that he misses. Though he's got like the worst big chances missed percentage. He's like near the top of the goal scored, but the goals not scored. So big chances missed. He's top.
Wow.
I don't know how many
mental,
it is, but
isn't it?
It's because.
But then that just goes to show how many chances you're creating. If anything.
Yeah, because we're at the top of the Championship, whereas Blackburn probably aren't creating as many chances. So,
yeah, I suppose.
Just before we do wrap up, though, bringing up Darryl, I just want to actually give a massive shout out to Darryl. He's actually achieved something. I did think I had a photo of the newspaper clipping. Unfortunately, I don't. However, we all know that he lives in Tamworth, and we know that we give him the shout out because Tamworth have won the league.
Yeah.
However, he's a coach, and he has dedicated a lot of his time to a special needs team for people who are, unfortunate and can't play the game normally. In his league, there are the likes of West Brom, Stoke, Burton. He won the league. So the Tamworth team won their league. And I just want to say congratulations, Darryl. You've done a fantastic job.
That's
your
amazing.
first season in charge as well. Literally, he's gone in there, he's organised, he's worked hard at it, and he's absolutely done it.
Is that why Will Still has left Reigns? Has he gone to help Darryl at Tamworth? Is that what that is?
Well, maybe.
We know your secret, Darryl. We're on to you.
Big shout out to Darryl for that. Well done, mate.
Well
Fair
done.
play, Darryl. Congratulations, man. That's amazing. Right, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap up this week. And I'm hoping that the audio will be available earlier. We're hoping that it's going to sound even better than it did last week, because obviously we want to keep improving. If you are looking on the clips and on YouTube and one thing and another, we still don't want to make it look too professional. It's not what we're about. It wasn't the aim of it in the first place. We're literally called Sunday League for a reason, so we are going to try and keep it, amateur to a certain extent, but the sound we wanted to improve, because obviously that makes a big difference for people that are listening just on audio, and even when you're watching clips and stuff, the sound is so important. So we did want to improve the sound for everybody. We just, everything else, we want to stay amateur, like our crappy opinions. So thank you very much for listening, and we do really appreciate you and everyone that's contacted us about the audio only, that wanted it changing and wanted us to go back to the way we were, which we are now doing. We are willing to listen to people, and certainly if you're going to listen to us and listen to us on a regular basis, we absolutely love you, and we are willing to do things to accommodate you and to help you and to make it a bit more enjoyable for you. So thank you very much. We're really pleased you join us, and we shall see you next week.